Welcome back to a brand new episode of Sea Glass Archaeology, everyone. I am so excited to get down to the beach. Not much time has passed since my last adventure, and what that means is the shoreline below really hasn't had a time to cycle all of that nasty sand that was sitting on top of the surface and covering all the beautiful sea glass. But don't worry, we're gonna go check it out, and then we're gonna take another trip to Tiny Beach because I'm still getting ready to open up my shop and I need thousands and thousands of more tinies to get myself through the season. So let's go check it out and see what's there. Take a look at this, everybody. This is just where I go down to get to the shoreline, and somebody left a few pieces of sea glass over here. You know, you don't meet too many people that like to pick sea glass but don't keep it for themselves. So if you're watching this right now, thank you. These waves are really piling up and crashing onto the shoreline. I probably shouldn't be where I am because I'm about to get wet, and it's about to get more serious too. But I really want to check this big pile. You can see right here, it's a nice tile. It almost looks like it's got the pattern of a heart on it, which is pretty cool. Piece of green. Oh, right over here. Take a look, everybody. It is a white marble. I had to get out of the way of the waves, everyone. They are absolutely just crashing in on me. But you can see right over here that I found about 60% of a melt glass marble. Now, marbles like this could have originated from games such as Hungry Hippos, Aggravation, and even Chinese checkers. Okay, everyone, so this is the last pile that I'm at. We can see that there is no sea glass on the top. It's a lot of bigger, heavy rocks, and that's where I'm finding larger tiles. And then this piece right over here is quite glassy as well. These waves are crashing quite violently. Oh, look at this right over here. Oh my gosh, here, just as I'm talking, look at this beautiful piece of gray sea glass. So I had to get out of the way of the waves. They were coming right at me. Take a look at this beautiful oval that I found over here. It's a nice soft gray. It's aged to perfection. And while a lot of the grays that I find out in my way, I attribute to being from televisions, this one right over here, I actually believe is from an old wet battery jar. Being in the Maritimes close to the water, wet battery jars were things that were used quite regularly, so if one of them was discarded, it could produce a couple of pounds of beautiful gray glass like this one right here. So we're at the end of the beach now. It's time to go and retrace our footsteps, and then we're going to head over to Tiny Beach, and hopefully we're going to make some good discoveries there. There it is, everyone. Oh my gosh. Hey, I see it. The waves are coming. Hold on. Holy cow, there's a marble. Look, everyone, it is another marble. Oh my gosh, it's so blurry. And this is exactly why I came down here. Ooh, I dropped it. Hold on. So this is exactly why I came down here. Even though there's so much sand, I really never know what I'm gonna find. So here is the cat's eye sea marble. The waves are just nipping right at my heels right over here, and my boots are holy. But that's okay, because I saved this marble right over here. It's a nice large size. I think it's gonna make a great pendant. Okay, I'm in the wet zone, everybody, but I am looking for treasure, and I'm ready to run. These waves are coming many, many feet above where I'm standing. I can see a green. Oh, I can see a green, and it's gone now. After finding that marble, I just know, oh, here we go. This is where I gotta back up. We're just gonna pile up these waves here. Yeah, there you are. Oh, I see a piece right over here, everybody. It's almost glowing. Okay, the waves are coming. Let's take a step back. Sorry about that, everybody. I had to get out of the way of the waves, and they still are crashing in. So what I believe I have over here is a piece of bonfire glass that is also uranium glass. Now, if it is uranium glass, it will fluoresce under the spectrum of a black light when we get home. And uranium glass, as I've talked about in the past, is a really good indicator that we're picking on a rubbish cove. Now, it's common to find bottles or fragments of bottles that have been in a bonfire from consumer beverage bottles that are like typical 20th century colors. But when you can come across a piece of bonfire glass that we know is from something from a specific time period and very ornate as well, because most uranium glass was used as kind of like vessels that you'd have in a house and not a throwaway consumer vessel. So we know that we're picking on a rubbish cove. I'm excited to get this piece home and see if it glows or not. I'm also excited to see what else is out here. check out this wonderful marvel of nature, everyone. You can see that this rock has a hole going right through it, and now that I turn it around, look at that. It actually has two holes that are going through it, and see what happens is little marine creatures like snails, they try to burrow a little hole in here for safety, but unfortunately, sometimes they dig so deep that they dig their way all the way to the other side of the rock. So it's literally like digging a hole to China for these little creatures, and it's just amazing to see that he burrowed all the way through on one side, and then he said, you know what, I'm gonna build myself a second little cavity, and I'm gonna hide in this. This is kind of similar to little rodents and critters. Like I occasionally come across a fox den on my walks, and you can see that a fox has a little burrow in the ground. So this piece over here is pretty neat. Now take a look at this beautiful remains of a clam shell. It's just absolutely remarkable how the shades of purple vary from exposure to the sunlight, and you can see on the other side over here, it almost has an abalone look to it. It's absolutely beautiful, and I take as many of these home as I can when I find them, and sometimes I turn them into earrings or jewelry like pendants as well. That's why we're here on the beach, even though it doesn't look like we're gonna find much. There is a huge triangle right here in this little tide pool. Take a look, everybody. I'm walking through the harbor on my way to Tiny Beach, and I just came across this huge piece of sea glass right over here. I believe it to be the top of a casserole dish, kind of like a quart dish, and you can see that it's nice and frosty, and it's just got a little bit of the top of the cover to it left. Now take a look at this, everyone. I am just hiking on the path, still on my way, and there is a beautiful large piece of cobalt blue, and it's wild because it looks just like sea glass, but the truth is it's in the mud and it's a few hundred feet away from the ocean, and it actually has never been in the ocean. This actually brings up a really amazing little fact that sometimes when glass is stuck in the mud slurry, and the mud moves back and forth over time with rainfall, a piece of glass can become frosty and smooth down and look just like sea glass. And just to further the point, look right over here, everyone. You can see there's a tiny little piece of glass. It is not sharp at all, and it looks like something that came off the beach. And now that I look, there's a third one right over here, and it's next to a piece of glass that's actually quite sharp. When I flip it over on the other side, we can really see how dirty it is. We can also see the edge of the bottle, so I'm going to hypothesize, because this one is thinner, that this is actually from like a Brahmo seltzer type of a bottle over here, something that was small and skinny. I really don't mind. I'll take any cobalt blue that I can find, and I'm sure most sea glassers out there and treasure hunters would agree. Okay, everyone, so we're at Tiny Beach now, and the waves are coming up quite violently as well. We're gonna give this a quick little look with the camera on, because after yesterday I found some amazing stuff. I'd love to do it live on camera right now. Oh my gosh, look right over here. Speak of the devil. Oh no. Well, it's really not that well aged. Oh, look at this right here. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is some sort of an ornate vessel. Here, I gotta get away from the water here, everyone. This is a beautiful piece of ceramic. I turn it over and we can see that it is very porous, which means that it wasn't vitrified at a high temperature. It wasn't fired at a high temperature. So this is probably a lot older. I don't know. I mean, I can see a lot of different designs in this. It might just be something random. Then over here, I found this piece over here, which we know undoubtedly from the color is from an old Hemingway insulator. You know, usually when I find pieces of insulators out my way, they're aged to perfection. But as it is springtime, I'm sure there's lots of new glass that has just eroded out of the shoreline, and it's made its way into the sea on its journey to becoming sea glass, and this is one of them. You can see right over here, it's the circumference of the top of the crown of the insulator. These waves are absolutely relentless, everyone. It's so loud here, I'm not sure if you can hear me. We're gonna take a look, and I have to say that this shoreline looks so much different than the last time I was here. We can still see that there's quite a lot of sea glass. However, I gotta run real quick. I gotta run. You can see the waves are right behind me. But what I was gonna say was the sand has pushed up extremely high, because the last time there's the blue. The last time I was here, I was picking all the way down there, and it was easy to do at low tide, and even for the few hours after low tide. We're gonna get in here and we're gonna give it a bit of a look, but I can really see this place is all washed out. And it just goes to show that in a few cycles of the tide, everything can change. So we always have to keep looking. I see a little speck of blue, and those are the most important. Here's another blue right over here. This is great. Then we have a piece of copper wire right over here, and it almost looks like a musical clef note, and I definitely will take that off the shoreline because it is rubbish I encounter quite often. I take home all the copper wire I can, and I actually found a big bundle of it once where all the plastic was eroded off, and I made these beautiful nests out of it. Now take a look at this, everybody. I just found a coin. Now, once again, this is not going to be pirate treasure. I'm pretty sure this is a Canadian dime. You can almost see the D right over here for Canada and a little bit of that blue nose boat that is on the dime. It even has the little edges on the side over here, so that tells us that it is a real modern piece. You can see it's a little bit warped. I don't care. Anytime I find a coin, I'm excited. Okay, the waves, oh, here, the waves went down for a minute, everybody, so I'm checking the pile out. And then look right over here. It looks like it's a piece of moonstone. Here, I gotta pick this up before the waves come. Okay, everyone, so I'm safe and away from all of those waves that are crashing up. And you can see over here, I found a beautiful piece of opalescent glass, and it's almost aged to perfection. You know, it really reminds me of moonstone, the way that it has this bluish glow to it. And you may have heard me say before in earlier videos when I found opalescent a year ago, that this is actually a crystallization process that happens within the glass, usually after it's been cooled and then reheated again. Sometimes opalescent glass occurs by accident, but usually the people know what they're doing and they're making it. It's absolutely beautiful and it's so rare. I'm gonna have to insert some photos over here of what this originally may have looked like. Take a look, everyone. It's hiding in between these two stones right over here. Let's discover it together. Oh, it's not 100% aged to perfection, but it's a very nice piece of cobalt blue, and it's over ½ an inch long, which isn't that easy to find, considering so many of the bottles that made these, such as Noxzema and Vicks and Poison bottles, were extremely small. Take a look at this amber brown piece right over here, everyone. It's got the remains of a few letters on it. Now, to me, this could be an R and an N or an R and an M. So this could actually be something maybe like a burn cream. I'm not 100% sure. So if anybody out there hasn't encountered these letters or a bottle like this before, I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to hypothesize that it's early 20th century. It almost looks like that Buckley's bottle that we found in the last adventure. Take a look at this beauty here, everybody. I'm sitting around picking the tiniest of tiny sea glass, and I did one swipe, and then I found this beautiful pendant-sized Kelly green find. And it also just goes to show that even though these pebbles are all small, a larger piece of sea glass can kind of mix up into it. Kind of like the same way that these rocks over here have mixed into all these tiny pebbles as well. Okay, everyone, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down there at the bottom where all the waves are kicking up, and I'm gonna go see if I can find anything in all of those pebbles. I can't do it with the tablet in my hand because it's just way too risky right now. I was totally out of frame there, everybody, but take a look at this right over here. This is a brass ring. It's actually a grommet. So something like this, ooh, maybe this is gold actually. No, absolutely, this is brass. Now that I look at it, I can actually see the bronze that's kind of working its way out of it. So something like this could actually be off of an old sail, a piece of bronze like this over here. Yeah, like I said, absolutely 100%, this is a grommet. When I turn it over, you can see that it would have affixed to a second portion over here. It's really well seaworn, and it's a really neat little artifact. Yeah! Oh my gosh, everybody. Oh, this right here. Here's another one too. Okay? Take a look at what I just found right over here, everybody. It may just look like it's a piece of cobalt blue from one side. Oh, it doesn't look like that at all. Well, when I first saw it, I thought that this was a piece of cobalt blue. And now that I look at it, you can see that it has these beautiful patterns on it right over here. You know, I don't think I've ever encountered anything that resembles this in my life. So I'm gonna have to imagine this was something that was extremely ornate, some sort of a decorative vessel. It's got multiple layers of glass in it. Now that I hold it like this, you can really see it has some multiple layers of glass in it, and that's so cool. I am so glad that I'm down there fighting all those waves, looking in those rock piles, looking for sea glass, because if I wasn't brave enough, I wouldn't have found this beautiful piece right over here, and now it's coming home in my collection, although I'm really not sure what's going to become of it, because I don't have anything that even comes close to comparing to this. Okay everyone, so I'm sitting here with my backpack. I had my head down and I was selecting some new music when out of the corner of my eye I saw something moving. I lifted my head and there was a big muskrat standing about 12 feet away from me. Unfortunately, when I picked my head up, it startled him and he ran into the rocks, so I don't know where he is. However, it is just amazing that I never know who I'm going to run into out here, and I haven't seen a muskrat since last fall when I was out here with my children and the doggies. Okay everyone, those waves are still crashing in violently behind me, but I've been checking the low tide mark as best as I can every 15 minutes, just in case something washes up. And look, I just got rewarded right over here. You can see that it's a nice piece of turquoise glass. It might even be a little bit of a seafoam green. It's absolutely beautiful. It's pretty thick as well and shaped like a diamond. I'm going to hypothesize that a piece like this either originated from an insulator or it originated from a late 19th to early 20th century soda water or mineral water bottle. It's a really, really nice color, and I'm happy that I got rewarded for all of the times that I've gotten up and found nothing. Yeah! Whoa! Ah, this is crazy. Look at this beautiful marble, everybody. Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful marble right over here. Look at the nice red to it. It almost is like an oxblood red. Now, oh my gosh, oops. This is probably one of the most beautiful marbles that I've ever seen in my entire life out here on the beaches. A lot of the marbles that I find, it's really hard to pinpoint who manufactured them. But a beautiful marble with swirls like this over here, I can almost assure you was made by Ravenswood. Maybe it was made about 80 to 90 years ago. See, Ravenswood made some absolutely beautiful swirled marbles over here. Oh my gosh, I think I just heard lightning. Guys, I gotta go, everybody. There's lightning right now, and there's no way I can stay on this beach if there's lightning. This is crazy. There's no sea glass in the world that is worth losing my life over and getting electrocuted. I gotta get out of here right now. I don't know if you heard that. Well, that certainly was an unexpected turn of events, everybody, and I definitely didn't want to leave the video so abruptly. So here I am, I'm walking in the woods, and it's a new day. You know, thank you all so much for all of your love and support. I cannot believe that I'm at 2,000 subscribers, and I really shouldn't call it 2,000 subscribers, because I think of everybody as such a dear friend, and everybody who comments and leaves something kind for me to say, it fills me with so much joy, so thank you so much for that. You know, it occurred to me when I was putting this video together that every once in a while I have to kind of repeat the same information, because that's exactly how beachcombing goes. I really never know what I'm going to find out there, and it's been a lot of marbles lately, so I've been talking a lot about marbles. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Hopefully we're back out on the beach again real soon. But before we go, you'll never believe what kind of things you'll find in the middle of the woods. Take a look at this right over here. I wonder how much they got for the insurance money.